The dragon's daughter!
Theon suddenly wakes up in Eddard Stark's former bedroom with the girl Kyra sleeping next to him. He tries to calm himself, but as he cannot remember dreaming, he cannot put it down to a bad dream. He gets out of bed, opens the window and looks outside where all is quiet. He goes back to bed until he realises which sound is missing: the direwolves. He sends Ertzen, who is guarding his door, to check on the direwolves who have been locked up in the Godswood. Recalling the day the direwolves had torn the wildlings who had attacked Bran Stark in the Wolfswood, the idea of the direwolves running around makes him feel queasy. He wakes up Wex Pike, who is sleeping by the bed, and sends him to check if Bran and Rickon Stark are still in their beds. Wex returns with the news that the two Starks are gone. As Theon finishes dressing, Ertzen returns to tell him that the wolves have gone as well. Theon gives the order to rouse the castle. As the order is being carried out, he wonders whether Stig has reached Deepwood Motte yet, knowing that his sister Asha might be on her way to Winterfell by now. The people of Winterfell are gathered in the yard. Theon angrily thinks that he tried to treat them justly, but that they have repaid him with betrayal. Ertzen and Black Lauren show Theon that Squint and Drennan, who had been guarding the Hunter's Gate, have been killed. He recognises Squint's wound as having been the work of the direwolves. He surmises that Drennan has been killed by the woman, and realises that she must have had help from someone who freed the wolves. He thinks to himself that he should have killed the direwolves the day he took the castle. He decides to search for the wolves at daylight. In the yard, where Reek informs him that 6 people are missing: Bran, Rickon, Mira, Jojenreed, Hodor and Osha. Learning Dancer is still in the stables, Theon realises they escaped on foot, and that they would have been slowed down by the fact that Bran would be in the Basker on Hodor's back, and Osha would need to carry Rickon. Theon confronts the people of Winterfell, who do not answer his questions. Reek suggests skinning them, but Theon loudly declares that there will be no flaying in the north while he rules Winterfell, hoping some of the people of Winterfell will understand that he is the only thing protecting him from people like Reek. Theon organises a hunt on Bran and Rickon, ordering Maester Luwin to accompany them because he does not dare leave Luwin behind in the castle. Little Walder Frey asks to come too, which Theon allows. They leave the castle with 11 men, 2 boys and 12 dogs. Reek takes a boar spear and an overstuffed washerwoman's sack with him, but Theon does not inquire as to its contents. The tracks of the direwolves, Hodor and the 2 reeds are easily found, and the dogs find the scent. They venture northwest into the heart of the Wolfswood. Theon considers that they might be fleeing to Deepwood Motte, unaware that Asha will be occupying the castle. He bitterly thinks to himself that he'd sooner see them all dead, believing it is better to be seen as cruel than foolish. Maester Luwin asks Theon to consider being merciful, not only to Bran and Rickon, but also to the Reeds, citing their value as a hostage against Lord Howland Reed. Theon agrees to spare them all, including Hodor if he can, but not Osha, who took an oath and broke it. They find the remains of a freshly killed young elk, killed by the direwolves. Theon realises that the animal has only been eaten off by the wolves, and that Osha has not even cut off a few steaks. He asks Farlan if the dogs could be tracking the wrong wolves, but Farlan denies the possibility. They continue, but the dogs lose the scent less than an hour later at a muddy brook swollen by the recent rains. They are unable to determine where the wolves left the stream. Wex alerts them to the fact that there are only paw prints visible, but not the prints of men, meaning the wolves entered the water alone. Theon is horrified at this discovery, realising that Osha likely sent the wolves ahead on their own. He sends Garrus, Merch, Agar and 4 dogs to double back and find where the group must have parted from the wolves, while the others follow the direwolves, as they would not part from Bran and Rickon for long. He takes Wex, the Frey boy, and Gyna Rednose with him upstream. They search on both sides of the stream, but Theon feels forced to give up at midday, when they still have not found a sign of them. They reunite with Farlan's search party, which had travelled downstream, who bear the same bad news. Garrus, Merch and Agar, having retraced their steps halfway to Winterfell, have not been able to find any sign of the Starks either. Theon does not dare to admit defeat, and suggests returning to the brook again. Little Walder Frey believes they are unable to find the Stark children because the Reeds are with them, citing numerous superstitions on mudmen. All men laugh at the notion until Lewin cites how the histories say the Crannogmen had once been close to the children of the forest, suggesting they may have secret knowledge. Regardless, they return to the stream and search for many a mile, but when the last daylight fades, they are forced to abandon the search. Reek approaches Theon, suggesting that the Starks have travelled northeast in the direction of the Umbers. However, Reek states the children would need to shelter someplace closer by, and he might know where that is, mentioning the old mill on Acorn Water. Although Theon questions why the Starks would have gone to hide there, with so many other possibilities near, Reek insists on the location. He shows Theon the contents of his sack, and when Theon finds the wolf's head brooch, he realises what Reek is implying. He orders all but Agar, Rednose and Gelmar to return to Winterfell. Lewin asks him to remember his promise of mercy, but Theon replies that mercy was for this morning.